first Jesuit pope comes to a Jesuit general congregation.
One of the most well-known predictions in history is the prophecy of the popes and anti-popes that is attributed to St. Malachy. St. Malachy was a Catholic bishop born in 1094 in Ireland. While in Rome, it is reported that St. Malachy experienced a vision of future claimants to the papacy till the second coming of Jesus Christ. St. Malachy wrote 112 short Latin phrases describing all these future claimants to the papacy, giving titles to both popes and anti-popes. St. Malachy describes anti-pope Paul VI as, quote, flower of flowers. Interestingly, Paul VI happened to have 3 lily flowers on his coat of arms. St. Malachy describes anti-pope John Paul I as, quote, from the half moon. John Paul I began his reign on August 26, 1978, when the moon appeared exactly half full, so he literally began his reign from the half moon. John Paul I also comes from the Diocese of Belluno, which means, quote, beautiful moon. St. Malachy describes anti-pope John Paul II as, quote, of the solar eclipse. John Paul II was born on May 18, 1920, the day of a solar eclipse. On the day of John Paul II's funeral, April 8, 2005, there was also an eclipse of the sun. This is a striking fulfillment of St. Malachy's prophecy. On September 19, 1846, the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to 2 little children at La Salette, France, and predicted that, quote, Rome will lose the faith and become the seat of the Antichrist, because, for one reason, the church will seem to be dominated, blocked out, or eclipsed by something. That something was John Paul II. He was the eclipse of the Catholic Church. The predictions made by Our Lady at La Salette and Fatima, covered in detail in our video, The Third Secret of Fatima. According to St. Malachy, the final claimant to the papacy in the history of mankind is described as Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman. St. Malachy says about the last claimant that, quote, in the final execution of the Holy Roman Church, there will sit Peter the Roman, who will feed the sheep in many tribulations. And when these things are finished, the city of 7 hills, Rome, will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. End quote. If St. Malachy's prophecy is correct, Antipope Francis will be the last person in history who will claim to be the Bishop of Rome. The reason St. Malachy called him Peter the Roman is because St. Peter, as Bishop of Rome and the first Pope, had the name Peter, and St. Malachy calls the last man who will claim to be the Bishop of Rome by the same name, Peter. Another reason St. Malachy called Francis the Roman is that Francis has emphasized the title Bishop of Rome in a unique way. Antipope Francis has generally avoided the title of Pope and other titles associated with claimants to the papacy. The official Vatican directory lists a number of different titles for claimants to the papacy, but Francis has rejected all these titles except the one title of Bishop of Rome, which he specifically requested. Francis has stressed in a highly unusual way that he is merely acting as if his authority is limited locally to Rome.
I woke up the other morning and I kept hearing the term Petrus Romanus. And I'm like, what in the world is that? I've heard it many times, but I didn't know what it was. So I had to look it up on the internet, and it was talking about these prophecies that this guy had written, I guess, about the popes. And I'm like, Lord, why are you showing me this? You know, it's like, what in the world is all this for? And the bottom line was, this guy had prophesied about the last pope, I guess, and he was talking about how the Catholics would be executed and then the burning of Rome, basically, or something along those lines. And I thought, whoa. And so, again, you have to search the matter out. So as I was reading that, an hour later, I get a phone call from my mom, and she says, hey, did you just see what the Pope just said? That there's no hell. I'm like, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, are you kidding me? So that was the second thing. And then I go into a restaurant, a barbecue joint, and I'm eating lunch, and I'm going somewhere with this. And all of a sudden, this country song comes on talking about all roads lead to Rome, which is the name of the prophecy I just read. And I'm like, you can't make this stuff up, man. The Spirit of God says, the Pope and the Vatican. That's right, the Pope and the Vatican are not furthering my kingdom, but are aiding the kingdom of darkness. Many are saying that this is the last Pope, but it's not for reasons they think. This will be the last Pope for what I, the Lord God, am about to do. I will expose this Pope and all those under his command for all the corruption he and the Vatican have been involved in for centuries. The Spirit of God says there is a shaking and a quaking coming to this Pope and the Vatican. For I will split the Vatican and its leadership wide open for the entire world to see the inner workings of this ancient beast. This Pope, the Vatican, and all its leadership will come crumbling down. I will pull back the veil to show how deep and dark the deception has been. You whisper in your inner chambers, we answer to no one. No one is above us. No one can hold us accountable. I see it all, and the time has come when I will now hold you accountable for your darkness. This exposure will be of such magnitude that the people will say, what do we do now? Where do we go now? We want nothing to do with this.